Hey, it's Sean, and welcome to my travel channel. In our last video, we explored the Oregon coast and headed to the city of Portland. Today, we're leaving the city and we're going back to nature to explore the Columbia River Gorge and the Mount Hood area. Before we start our journey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's start our journey. One of the best things to do outside the city of Portland is to take a ride along the Columbia River Gorge. However, due to the pandemic and a lot of increased travel, you have to purchase like a time ticket to get to some of the top sites such as Multnomah Falls, which we're going to see a little bit later. So if you're planning a trip out this way, make sure you purchase a time ticket. But our first stop here is the Vista house, which, as you can see right behind me, just has a beautiful scenery of the river, as well as the mountains and the valley there. And what's also cool about this place is it has, like the name says, a house here that you can go up in the balcony and get even a better view of the valley. They do also have a gift shop as well, but be prepared for crowds, especially during summertime. We've seen a lot of people here. But let's continue to explore the gorge and drive to our next stop. Behind me we have Multnomah Falls, which is the tallest waterfall in Oregon. And it's like 300 some feet tall. There's a path that you can get to the bridge up there, which we're gonna go see in a little bit. But as you can see, super crowded. So plan to try to come here as early as possible to avoid crowds. So let's hike up to the bridge. At the top of the bridge, you can see like a very scenic waterfall here. And the path, it's very narrow. Like I mentioned earlier, I mean, crowds are definitely a big thing that if you want to avoid them, get here a little bit early. But it seems like every spot that we walked along with the path just has a great view of the falls in the area. So we're going to continue on and check a couple more spots along the falls here. There are just so many different waterfalls, trails, and viewpoints along the Columbia River Gorge. And it's great to just take a drive along the scenic highway that they have here. But be prepared for crowds around like Multnomah Falls. But I would say to just take your time and enjoy the nature and the different falls and trails that they have here. So we're going to continue on our journey and we'll check back in at the next stop. We drove up to Timberline Lodge, which is on top of Mount Hood. The lodge itself sits on elevation of 6,000 feet. I mean, you can definitely notice the temperature difference. We're up at the top here where it's 54 degrees Fahrenheit, so quite a significant temperature change, which we bundled up a little bit. Mount Hood is very iconic, and on clear days you can see it from the city of Portland. But Mount Hood in particular is known for the outdoor activities such as skiing, snowboarding, as well as hiking, rock climbing, and some of the scenic views that they have here. It's just phenomenal to think how they were even able to build this lodge in the 30s, given that they have like a short time frame during the summer months to construct the lodge itself. And we're going to continue on our journey to explore a little bit more of the lodge and the Mount Hood area. So let's continue on our way. One of the items you can't miss is the museum. It highlights the early construction in 1937, as well as it has artifacts from early outdoor enthusiasts from 1889. There's also a few items from native people in the Mount Hood area too in the museum. Oh, in case you recognize the area a little bit from a movie, The Shining filmed a few exterior shots in the film itself, so it may look a little bit familiar. Mount Hood has many different hiking trails, but the park ranger at Timberline Lodge recommended that we go to Trillium Lake, which is a loop. And you can hike down from the mountain, but we chose to drive down, and that way we can make it a short little hike, roughly 2 miles. But he said like anything above Timberline Lodge was not feasible at all. They had a very harsh winter, so a lot of the trails have not been cleared. They've been washed out. They have debris. Trees are all over them. So he recommended Trillium Lake, which has a beautiful view of Mount Hood from the lake. And it also seems to be very, very popular. We saw a lot of people come here. They were camping. They were taking their boats, also swimming around. So it seems to be very popular. One big travel trip if you're planning to come to Trillium Lake is, if you want to beat the crowds, definitely come here early, but you do have to pay a $10 parking fee. And it's kind of like a self-serve. You have to grab an envelope, put the cash or check in the envelope, fill out your card information. And they do have people come in on golf carts checking the information, so it's a little more than just like honor system, so to speak. But if you're camping, it seems like you get a little more flexibility on the parking. It seems like there are designated parking spots. But let's continue on the trail. So the hike was really cool. We got to go around the lake. There were parts that were flooded, so I had to backtrack a little bit, but it's a nice little loop, and you see a lot of people out today, so it's very, very popular. But this concludes our tour of the Portland area and the Mount Hood area. Next time we'll be going up to Mount Rainier as well as the Seattle area. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, keep on exploring.